In video 1, screwdrivers. There are many well-paying middle-class jobs that require the use of tools. In this series of videos, I'm going to introduce you to basic hand tools, what they're called, and how to use them. We'll start out with one of the most common tools, the screwdriver. This one has interchangeable blades to save room in your tool bag. Let's start by looking at screwdriver handles. You should choose a screwdriver handle that fits your hand the best, because you're going to be pushing very hard on the screw head to prevent damaging it when you turn the screwdriver. The business end of the screwdriver is determined by the screw. In this video, we're only looking at screw heads. Heads come in a head type and also a drive type. Slotted, Phillips, and hex are three popular drive types. Here's an example of a round head, slotted drive screw. And of course we use a flat blade screwdriver. And when a screwdriver has a good fit, it should stay on the screwdriver even though it's not magnetized. Here's an example of a flathead slotted screw that's used for countersunk holes. And again, the screwdriver is a good fit. Now here's an example of some Phillips head screws. This is a pan head Phillips screw. And of course we use a Phillips screwdriver. And here's a slightly smaller pan head Phillips screw. We can use the same screwdriver on that. Still a good fit. And then there's three socket head cap screws that have a hex socket on the top. These are driven by hex keys, which we will cover in a future video. And of course, when we have a nut, we use a nut driver. And nut drivers are also used for hex head screws, which is the screw over on the lower left. Screw holding screwdrivers are not used for final tightening or loosening of a screw, but rather for installing a screw into a machine when you absolutely cannot drop the screw. Unlike a magnetic screwdriver, it uses a spring force to hold the screw. They come in a few different designs for both slotted and Phillips head screws. There's a screwdriver made for almost every situation possible, so you really can't have too many tools. Here's a typical tool drawer in a tool cabinet. And there's specialty screwdrivers like this Stubby Phillips screwdriver. And here's an offset Phillips screwdriver, an offset flat blade screwdriver, and a couple smaller ones. And here's even a folding screwdriver. So if you remember only two things about screwdriver usage, is number one, you have to push hard during initial loosening or final tightening of a screw. And you have to make sure you're holding your screwdriver square. In other words, 90 degrees from the surface, or perpendicular to the screw head. Anybody can learn to use tools, but there are some people who look down on those who do. But what do you care what other people think? The world is changing fast, thanks to people like John Ratzenberger and Mike Rowe, who support local trade schools and community colleges. Bring some tools into your life. I hope you found this video helpful.